What is going on, everybody? Welcome on in. My name is Richie, and it is Knicks free agency news time. What is the latest you need to know about your New York Knicks? Because Mike Brown, folks, is the next head coach. All right, we signed two players, Jordan Clarkson and Yabusele, but is there new moves pending? Or is Leon Rose and the New York Knicks, are they content with the way the roster looks? We're going to break it all down right here, right now on Knicks Media. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Tomorrow's July 4th. We got a lot of interesting things to talk about regarding our New York Knicks. So let's get straight into business and not waste any more time. What is going on with the New York Knicks? What's the latest news? So I want to start off with Mike Brown, of course, being announced as the next Knicks head coach. That is obviously extremely important here because Mike Brown, man, you talk about a guy that is built for this moment. He is ready to be the next Knicks head coach. Somebody in the media reached out to Mike Brown. It's like, hey, man, this is a very big spot you're going into being the next Knicks head coach. A lot of pressure is going to be on you. And he's like, just like I want it. And I think that's important. That shows you the type of human being he is. He's not running away from any type of pressure. He wants to embrace the challenge of being the next Knicks head coach. And I love that. I love hearing that he's ready to go. He is somebody that wants to win, somebody that has so much experience, man. You talk about a coach that has been around the league as an assistant under so many great coaches like Greg Popovich winning an NBA title. He was with Steve Kerr when they won the NBA title. He coached Kobe with the Lakers. He coached LeBron with Cleveland. I mean, the list goes on. The guy's been around a lot of great basketball people, coaches, and players. And you combine all the experience with his job in Sacramento, lifting up the Kings to new heights, bringing them to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, winning Coach of the Year, unanimously, by the way, the only coach ever to win that award by every single person voting for him. And now he's got the challenge of being the Knicks head coach. And I think that's a big challenge, man. Big challenge. Now, you want to talk about NBA news? Apparently, we heard this morning from Fred Katz that there's a 7-team trade going on with the Kevin Durant situation with Phoenix and Houston. It does not involve the New York Knicks, but that is just wild news to talk about when it comes down to NBA-related stuff. The NBA world is like looking at that news. We're like, wow, really? That's what's going on? So interesting stuff on that end. And now you talk about Jordan Clarkson now. I'm really excited for Jordan Clarkson because I also am excited to break down the latest that's going on with the Knicks outside of the additions, because I do think there's some other moves that's going to be made from this Knicks basketball team. But talking about Jordan Clarkson, I've said it before, but I cannot stress enough how important this is going to be for the Knicks, because you can argue, and let me know if you guys agree, Jordan Clarkson is the exact player that the New York Knicks were missing last year. I mean, I love Deuce McBride. Don't get me wrong. But Jordan Clarkson is that veteran savvy presence that this Knicks basketball team needed off the bench last year. And now we look at a player like Clarkson, who took a massive pay cut, might I add, joining the New York Knicks with Jalen Brunson and the crew. I think that's just a great move that Knicks fans are going to fall in love with his energy. Been around the league for a while. He is your prototypical sixth man of the year. That's who he is. Right? I know that the Sixth Man of the Year award went to some more younger players in recent memory, but this is a guy that has so much experience in this league. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he's now the oldest player on the Knicks, right? Because the core seven that we all love, Brunson, Cat, OG, Bridges, Josh Hart, Deuce, and Mitch, none of them are even in their 30s. So Clarkson's technically the OG of the group. All right? And I think that's important. You need to have an OG. And I absolutely love that his ability to be that prolific scorer off the bench is going to help so much. And you want to talk about the bench unit for the Knicks. It's going to look completely different when you combine Mike Brown and the additions of Clarkson and the additions of Yabusele as well. I mean, it changes everything, especially from the bench. What is this bench unit going to look like? And I look at this bench now, and I think that with Deuce, Mitch, Clarkson, and Yabusele and the young guys, woo, that's telling me that this Knicks team is going to have one of the better benches in the league. And I genuinely believe that. Like, I think that the combination of the Knicks starting five And we also don't know who's starting because Thibodeau had the starting 5 all season, and then he changed the lineup in the playoffs. If the roster stays the way that it is right now and you see the same team that we see on the roster going into camp, and that's the squad, and Leon Rose does not pull off a wild trade, who do you think Mike Brown's going to start? Is Mitch going to start? Is Josh Hart going to start? I'm really curious to see what his philosophy is. There's going to be a lot of players on this basketball team we're going to see get utilized in ways that Tom Thibodeau did not utilize them. And I hear a lot of people complaining that Mike Brown is not built for this. He's not meant for this job. And I couldn't disagree more. I mean, if the Knicks hired an assistant like Johnny Bryant, who every single Knicks fan loves, including myself, I mean, what proof does Johnny Bryant have that he's capable to go out there and win an NBA title? You want to talk about a coach that has literally every single thing you need as a head coach besides actually winning a championship as a head coach. I mean, what more do you want, Knicks fans? If there's a better name out there that the Knicks should have hired instead of Mike Brown, please feel free to let me know. Because you're talking about a coach in Mike Brown that has won multiple championships as an assistant. Multiple, not one, multiple. That matters. He knows what it takes to win the whole thing as an assistant. And then he has experience going to the NBA Finals as a head coach with the young LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And you look at that team was, I mean, barely had anybody around LeBron. No disrespect to the guys around him, but that was just LeBron James and Mike Brown at its finest. And then you see what he did with Sacramento. The Kings are a mess in terms of firing people. I believe they're the ones that fired Mike Malone, and then he went to Denver, and now they're champions. So I would have an open mind because Mike Brown himself, he's going into this team with an open mind, right? This is exciting. Extremely exciting. Mike Brown is embracing the city. Us Knicks fans should too. If you're a Knicks fan, you should be fired up about this addition. You should be fired up, folks, because he wanted this job. Woo! Fires me up. I ain't gonna lie. Fires me up. Now, what's the latest news around Knicks world? Are they going to make another move? Is there another move that this Knicks team is going to make, right? I'm going to sit here and say, listen, we got news that they're interested in Ben Simmons. I don't see that happening. No, thank you to Ben Simmons, right? I mean, Ben Simmons is a guy that I literally want the Knicks to not touch. No offense to Ben Simmons. You guys can agree with me in the chat or not. Would you guys want the Knicks to go after Ben Simmons? Because there was a report from Ian Begley linking the Knicks to Ben Simmons. No, thank you. I'm okay. I'm definitely okay. So, no, thank you. Now, I do think that Leon Rose is never satisfied. He's always going to be on the move. He's always going to be making some roster additions, always going to make some trades. But I'm going to say here right now, okay, if this Knicks team decided to go into this season with the roster the way it's constructed right here, right now, I absolutely love it. And I think it is good enough to win an NBA title. Yes, I said it. I'm not afraid to say that. I think this Knicks roster is good enough to win an NBA title. Do you guys agree with me on that or not? The starting 5 of Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, you're telling me that that's not good enough to win a title with the brand new coach? I mean, they got everything they need, folks. They got everything they need. You look at this team on paper that Leon Rose constructed, might I add, and it's ready, bro. This team is 2 wins away. And I think an element that I love to remind everybody that's going to be on our side if Leon Rose does not make a trade for Giannis or something crazy, continuity will be on the Knicks side, meaning we're going to have this core having so much experience together last year, understanding each other's tendencies, learning how they like to play, because you look at the top dogs, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they've had years to get familiar with each other, build that system from scratch. The Indiana Pacers, they had multiple years of that core of Turner, Halliburton, Siakam. The Boston Celtics, they had years of Tatum and Brown and Kristaps and Holiday to build chemistry. And now the Knicks are coming off 1 year with this core, and now you add in a brand new coach that can hopefully put it all together. I think we have yet to see the greatest versions of guys like Jalen Brunson still. I think there's another level of Jalen Brunson's game that he's about to tap into with Mike Brown, especially someone that specializes in the offensive side of the floor. I mean, we all love Jalen Brunson, but man, I think he's about to level up his game. And the combination of him and Karl Anthony Towns, come on. You saw the work that Brown put in with De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. That was a lethal combination. You couldn't guard them. Pick and rolls, pick and pops, off-ball movements. I mean, Mike Brown was responsible for unlocking the full potential of that Sacramento Kings team. They played fast. They played hungry, a deep bench. And I think that Mike Brown is a perfect blend of old school basketball that is twisting the game into the modern era. And I think that's important. I really do. I think a guy like Karl Anthony Towns is going to benefit the most from Mike Brown because Cat was, I'm going to say, misused a little bit from Tibbs. He expected him to be this like defensive guy. Never was going to be that. We know what Cat is. But there were some times where Cat was just sitting on the sideline, but didn't shoot, didn't get looks. That can't happen. You need to have a coach that can get every single player involved and get them all in a rhythm. There was games where Cat took control, but there was games also where he just shot 7 times. And you're like, Karl Anthony Towns, where are you? We need you. But another intriguing player that I have to bring up in terms of someone that I think is going to benefit from Mike Brown the most, where he could fulfill his full potential with the Knicks, and he's also due for a contract, Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is such an interesting player that Knicks fans have mixed feelings about. Because on one side, Knicks fans are like, we gave up way too much for him. He'll never fulfill that destiny of 5 first-round picks or whatever. But if he can fulfill his role of being a scorer, start putting up 18 plus 20 points per game and that defensive versatility, like the guy is a winner. And he also is a workhorse. And he thinks he was misused from Tibbs from an offensive standpoint. And listen, it's not going to be easy to get everybody involved. You got to keep Brunson happy, Cat happy, OG. Like, there's a lot of mouths to feed in this offense, which is a great problem to have, might I add. But I think that Mikal Bridges, his game is going to level up. 100%. We have not seen the best version of Mikal Bridges on the New York Knicks. And I stand by that. So that excites me to see what Mike Brown can do with a player like Bridges, who is very talented. We showed what he can do in spurts. A little inconsistent, but when he stepped up, especially in the playoffs defensively, man, it was big time. He was a big reason for a lot of those comebacks. And that's a player I'm really excited to see get unlocked offensively. Because a guy like OG Anunoby, for example, his offensive game feels like it's another one that's untapped because we're so obsessed with the defensive ability of OG and the defensive ability of Mikal Bridges. But let's not forget that OG Anunoby is getting paid the big bucks right now. And that's another player that I'm curious to see this new head coach get his hands on. What's your guys' expectations for OG Anunoby? Because he is someone that can literally, if his offensive game can take a step, like that's what makes or break this Knicks team. We know what we're getting from Brunson. We know what we're getting from Cat. They're 2 all-stars. But if Bridges and OG can take that step, man, that's unbelievable. Now, there's also a crazy world where the Knicks may trade OG. They may trade Bridges. They may trade Cat. Who knows who they're going to trade? But I'm sitting here comfortable with the way this roster is constructed. And I know some people are wondering, well, the Knicks could still trade for LeBron James, as someone says. I don't know about that. The Knicks could still trade for Giannis. I don't know about that. That still feels like a far-fetched world, but I'm also not going to be ignorant to the idea that anything is possible. This NBA world is dramatic. Things come out of left field that you can never expect. Leon Rose is known for things like that, pulling off trades out of his hat that we just don't see coming. I don't know, man. Leon Rose, this is a big offseason. So far, he's made 2 big moves, Leon, off the bench that I love. You can argue he actually made 3 big moves, hiring the coach and then signing 2 players, went into the draft as well. brought in a player from France. And by the way, apparently Leon Rose, this is a fun fact that I heard. Leon Rose drafted Diawara from France because he has the same agent as Gershon Yabusele from France, which Leon Rose knew if he drafted Diawara, then he's got that connection already with the agent, and the agent's the one that you got to communicate with to lure him to the Knicks. Leon Rose is an architect, man. He's always a step ahead. He's always trying to plan something and pull some strings. He's got all the connections you need. So Leon the Don, that's their next story regarding him. And the Knicks are becoming the Nova Frenchmen. We got the Villanova crew, and now we got 3 players from France, with Pacome Dadier being the first-round pick last year, drafting Diawara this year in the second round, and then bringing in Yabusele from France in free agency. So they got 3 players from France, 4 players that played in the same, or 3 players now from Villanova. Go bring back Dante, and then we're good to go. I'm just kidding. You never know. You never know. But are you guys satisfied with Leon Rose in free agency so far? Like, if this is the last move, is hiring Brown, and we go into the season with the roster the way it's constructed, are you satisfied? Do you think that is enough? And then ask the next question: does Leon Rose think that's enough? Does Leon Rose look at the roster, look at Mike Brown, and say this is enough? Because if there was ever a time to go all in, it's right now, folks. The Eastern Conference is never going to be this wide open. The Knicks are literally the betting favorites to come out of the East, because of all the factors that we all already know, the injuries around the East. The West is going to be a gauntlet, with Houston getting better, with OKC being the reigning champions. You can never count out on Denver. The Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be probably better. I mean, the Lakers, who knows what that's going to look like with Luka and LeBron. The Clippers are always in it. The West is like a gauntlet, bro. And then you think of the East. It's got the Knicks, the Cavs, the Magic may get better. Pacers may be a bad team next year. Who knows? Rick Carlisle's a great coach, and they still got talent, of course, in the system that works. Boston is not looking good. So the East is wide open, man. And if there ever was a time, it's now. There's no more waiting around. Like, there's no more waiting around if you're a Knicks fan. The time is now, folks. The time is now. Can Jalen Brunson level up his game more? We could literally be the first seed in the East. And by the way, the first seed in the East means nothing, as you can tell, with the Cleveland Cavaliers having the best record in the league. Let me say that again. If the Knicks finish the first seed in the East, it means nothing unless they go on a deep playoff run and make it to the finals. Because the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were just the first seed. They got bounced in the second round. Their season is a failure. So it's not about the regular season. It's all about the playoffs with these Knicks, man. It's all about getting to the playoffs healthy. And that is another thing that just still gets me a little upset is, I mean, I'm not going to complain, but the Knicks finally had luck on their side this past season from a health perspective. Everybody was healthy, bro. We had no injuries in the playoffs. None. No injuries for the Knicks in the playoffs. That matters. Teams that usually go the furthest don't have injuries. The Thunder did not have any injuries, and the Pacers did not have any, of course, until Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Celtics had injuries. Like, the Knicks had injuries 2 seasons ago. It was brutal. That was the reason why we were so upset. But now let's just hope that whatever training staff, that whatever medical staff that the Knicks had this year works the same magic, because we want these guys healthy and ready to go and ready to ball, because it's free agency time, folks. And there's still players out there, but I think the Knicks are done. I do think that from a free agency standpoint, they're capped out. They can't really afford anybody else. So the only way this Knicks team makes more roster moves is if Leon Rose decides to make a trade, pull the trigger on a massive trade. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, that does not need to happen. We don't need to go make a big trade. But I just hope Knicks fans have that mindset, like, you never know what's possible. You never, ever know what is possible. Ever. And last year I learned that Karl Anthony Towns trade shook me so much where I'm like, you know what? Even the OG trade, like even the Hart, like Leon Rose is addicted to trading. The Cat trade, every trade that he's made up until this point has built this Knicks team to where they are right now. The Mikal Bridges trade was wild. Who saw that one coming? No one. No one saw it coming. I'll answer that for you. So you guys let me know. I'm asking right now a question. Are the Knicks done personnel-wise? Are they content with this roster? Do they feel comfortable with the way Leon Rose constructed this roster? Or does Leon Rose look at it and say, you know what? We're going to go all in and trade for LeBron James. Or we're going to go all in and trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And by the way, we still don't even know if either of those are realistic from the standpoint of Giannis wanting out or LeBron wanting out. And I'm not advocating for either. All I'm doing is bringing up the possibilities here, folks. That's my job. Bring up the possibilities. Because it's a wild time for these Knicks because they've never been in a bigger situation to go after a finals appearance. That's where my brain is thinking, like, I don't think they're done. Like, it feels like they should be, but then we remember who we're talking about. We're talking about Leon Rose here. We're talking about the guy who is addicted to making trades. That's what I keep reminding myself. We're talking about Leon Rose, man. The guy's addicted to trades. So don't be too attached to some of these guys. Don't get too attached to Josh Harts and OGs and all these guys. That's what I learned as a Knicks fan. Leon Rose likes to trade away your favorite player. RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, I love them. Gone for OG Anunoby. In hindsight, great move. Like trading away Obi Toppin hurt at the time. You never know. Mitchell Robinson can get dealt. That will hurt me. But, of course, we're going to be upset of what's going, but you got to look at what's coming back. And this Knicks roster that you see has been literally constructed through trades. Every single player in the starting lineup came from a trade besides Jalen Brunson in free agency. And then Robinson and Deuce in the draft. Like Cat traded for, Hart traded for, Bridges traded for, OG traded for. It's very rare that a team is built that way. It's usually through free agency or the draft, not trades only. I'm not saying everybody, like nobody trades like Leon and the Knicks, but it's very rare to see a team built the way that Leon Rose built it. And right now we're in year 5, going into year 6 of Leon Rose. So that we're finally seeing his full vision of the team. When he became the Knicks president, I'm sure we were all wondering, where's his mind at? Where is he headed? He found a guy that can help this Knicks team get out of the doldrums of being incompetent with Tom Thibodeau, winning Coach of the Year. Julius Randle's a big part of it, right? At the time. And now you fast forward 5 years later, 4 playoff appearances in 5 years, Eastern Conference Finals appearance, traded all the players, traded all of our picks, and now you see the roster. And now you see Cat on this team making $50 million. You see OG on this team getting paid $40 million. You see Jalen Brunson getting paid a good amount, but could have made more, but he decided not to. So it's interesting, man. And I think that if you want to break down the latest Knicks news in detail, it really comes down to, is Leon Rose satisfied or not? And I'll leave that up for you guys. Because I think that this Knicks team is built and ready to go. But you know what I remind myself? I thought the same thing last year. What was the narrative last year, folks? Do you guys remember? When we lost to the Pacers. What was the narrative? Well, just try to re-sign Hardenstein, run it back, re-sign OG, because he was a free agent, remember, and run it back. We don't need to make any changes. But Leon Rose had different plans. He traded away 5 picks for Mikal Bridges, and then he traded away Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle, and then Hardenstein left, and it shook up the whole roster. I didn't see that coming, bro. I really didn't. Last year, I was thinking to myself, we can run it back. If we could bring back Hardenstein and re-sign OG, if this Knicks team is healthy, we could do some dangerous things. But he did not think that way. So that's where my mind is thinking in a different perspective now with Leon Rose, bro. This guy's never satisfied. The guy's never satisfied, man. And the only way that you can make an upgrade on the roster right now is by trading. And I'm not ready to trade some guys. I'm not ready to trade these guys. I want to see what they can do with Mike Brown. I want to see what Brunson and Cat look like together. I want to see what Bridges and OG look like as a wing duo. I want to see what Josh Hart looks like with this new system. I want to see Mitchell Robinson fulfill his ability to be the number one offensive rebounder in the NBA. I want to keep watching Deuce's development. I want to see these guys together. But if they trade for Giannis, I won't be complaining. If they trade for LeBron, I'd be shocked. It's a less than 1% chance that happens. But you still got to talk about it because you never, ever know. You never know what's on the horizon with Leon Rose. And that's very important to keep in mind, folks. Very important to keep in mind. I think Knicks fans, we got a good head on our shoulders about what's expected, what's to come. So we'll see. We shall see, man. I think that Knicks fans, this is a time to be excited. Absolutely. This season coming up is going to be the biggest season of our lives, and we're coming off the biggest one. I mean, I don't want to sound, if you grew up and you watched the Knicks win a championship back in 69 and 71, that's a little better. But it's been a while, man. I don't know what it's like to cover the Knicks from a successful standpoint. Consistently, I'm 27 years old, so I'm hoping this continues and they keep being playoff appearances every single year. So let's go Knicks, folks. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Knicks. Got some super chats I want to run through. Lysell, appreciate you, my guy, as always, chiming on in here to Knicks Media. As a Brooklyn Nets fan, might I add, this is an exciting offseason for my team. And what happened to Wednesday's show and 4th and Long? Brooklyn. It's 4th and forever. But, yeah, we're just taking a little bit of a break, Lysell. It's the offseason, so we'll be back. Don't you worry. I think we may be taking a break next week, actually, fully, kind of unplugging a little bit. It's the NFL offseason. Training camp starts soon. Another super chat says, this should be your year, but knowing the Knicks, they will find a way to screw it up. Yeah, well, I'd rather be a Knicks fan than a Brooklyn Nets fan 10 times out of 10. How about that? Appreciate the super chat, though. Really do appreciate you, man. Much love to you, Lysell. Much love to you. Much love to you. Keith says, can't trust the guy who gave up 5 picks for Bridges. All right. We lost the trust for Leon, according to Keith. Right? Oh, my goodness. Well, folks, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July. I know it's tomorrow, but enjoy the time celebrating our nation with your family, with your friends. I love you guys. I'm going to wrap it up here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy time, and I will see you guys later. Much love to everybody in the chat. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm out of here, folks. Love you guys. Peace.